So based on what we discussed on yesterday's video, we can say with confidence that Jesus did exist in history. But was he just a great teacher or a prophet? The revolutionary movement that Jesus started has shaped the world we live in. His influence has echoed through history, through the things he taught and the way he lived. And just about everyone acknowledges that he was a great moral teacher. But was he just a great teacher? As Greg Koukl says, the key word in that sentence is just. Was he just a good teacher? It's somewhat ironic that many of the people who challenge the authority of the Bible as an historical text would still agree that Jesus, the man, was a great teacher. But the reason we all know about his teaching is because of what is recorded in the Gospels, the very texts that they are disputing. They're happy to acknowledge the significance of his teaching, but don't accept that he was God or the Messiah or the Saviour of the world. So was he just a great moral teacher? The problem with that view is it doesn't fit with some of the things that he taught. See, to people hungry for spiritual truth, he said, "I am the bread of life. Those who come to me will never go hungry." To people in spiritual darkness looking for direction, he said, "I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness." For those worried about death, he said, "I am the resurrection and the life. Those who believe in me will live even though they die." Jesus didn't point people towards God, saying that God was the light or the bread or the life. He pointed to himself. The Apostle John, who was with him for 3 years, quotes Jesus as saying to his closest followers, saying, "Anyone who has seen me has seen the Father. And if you know me, you will know my Father as well." Jesus claimed that he was God, claimed that he was God in human form. It's not the sort of thing you would expect a great moral teacher to say. It's also not the sort of thing you'd expect a prophet to say. Prophets always pointed away from themselves and pointed to God. But Jesus' teaching points to himself as God incarnate. So we can't say that he was a prophet. And Jesus' claims were blasphemy in the eyes of the Jews, and ultimately that's why the Jewish leaders called for him to be crucified. Now, there's a couple of possibilities here that we should consider. One, it could be that Jesus was deluded, that he actually believed he was God, but he wasn't. We'd all agree that anyone who thinks they are God has lost the plot. But if Jesus was insane, then he could not also be a great moral teacher. The other possibility is that he knew he was just a man, but he lied in claiming that he was God, perhaps looking for some advantage through that, we don't know. But then it all went wrong and he got crucified. But if he was lying in that way, then he wouldn't be a great moral teacher either. So either he is who he claimed to be, and he is God and the Messiah and the Saviour of the world, and he is a great moral teacher, or he wasn't who he claimed to be, which means that either he was deluded or a liar, and if he's either of those, then he's not a great moral teacher. C.S. Lewis sums it up like this. He says, "A man who was merely a man and said the sort of things Jesus said wouldn't be a great moral teacher. He'd either be a lunatic on a level with a man who says he's a poached egg, or else he'd be the devil from hell. You must make your choice. Either this man was and is the Son of God, or else a madman or something worse. But don't let us come up with any patronising nonsense about him being a great human teacher. He hasn't left that option open to us. He did not intend to." So because Jesus' teaching pointed to himself, we can't say that Jesus was just a great moral teacher, and we can't say that he was a prophet. Jesus claimed that he was God, and they killed him for it. The greatest evidence we have that he was who he said he was is in the resurrection. So perhaps the biggest question we need to address is, did Jesus die and then come back to life again? We'll look at that question tomorrow. I hope you can join us.